Hey, this is Dave Robinson with Robinson Wholesale Bait, and just wanted to show you what to expect when a tank came in. So here's a crate that came in from Aqualogic, and we're gonna uncrate it and get the new tank out of the box. So some of the tools that you want to have on hand: a hammer, a pry bar, and a cordless with a Phillips head on it. So that's all you need, and we will go ahead and pull this apart. Mike's going to give us a hand and we'll show you what it's all about.
So we got all the screws out. Top will lift off just like this.
And there's the tank inside. Okay, and there's a couple of 2x4 supports that we got to pull off. There we go. Okay, we got all the screws undone, and now we have to pop the end off. And there we go. We got one side, one end off, and the tank's exposed. It's pretty easy from here. Now, Mike is a professional, so don't expect to do this quite as fast as he does. Now, there's not much holding it back. It's really three pieces: the cabinet, the tank, and the chiller. So next we'll pull those apart. So there you go. We have the tank unwrapped from the shrink wrap and exposed. You got the chiller, which is screwed into the base, so we will show you how to remove that. And inside the tank are the filter cells and the operating manual, which nobody ever reads, which is why we're doing this. Okay, we did forget one tool that you need is the 5/16 inch nut driver. So Mike is pulling the hood off of the chiller so that we can get at the screws that attach the chiller to the base. All right, and the hood is off, and that's what we have to now remove so that we can take the chiller out, which just makes it a lot easier moving this tank around. There are 4 screws in it. Okay, so we lifted the chiller out, and it's got the legs so you can just set it down, and this is how your filter cell compartment will look. The tank is pretty well assembled. You've got a drain kit valve kit here, different options on draining the tank. And what is that, Mike? Oh, is that the manifold?
That is your manifold.
So that is the filter cell manifold all wrapped up. And then down there are the filter cells. All right, so this is the compartment that contains the water pump, which is right here. This is the filter cell manifold. We call that the crossover pipe, and it's connected with a union, and that goes into the water pump. It comes up, the water comes up, and goes through the venturi, which pushes it over the coil. When we put the chiller back in, the coil will be right down here. And this is a valve that you can close if you want to force water through the venturi. And this is the standpipe. And that unscrews, and there's the drain for the tank. All right, before we move it, we're going to pull the lids off, and just makes it easier grabbing a hold of the tank and takes some weight away from the tank. So this is the door we're going to be going through and do a typical building like you might be moving your tank into. So you should be able to bring it in through a standard door. Well, okay, we have the tank in place, and we're ready to install the chiller, but we wanted to show the space you need behind the tank. And you need some space there so that the chiller has some room to breathe. And also, this is kind of a two-man job. You don't want to drop the chiller or hurt your back. So you drop the chiller down. And this is where you need the space of about 6 inches. And now we have the chiller in place. One final thing on your installation. If you don't want to reattach this chiller, it's not necessary to do that. If you watched the video earlier, this was screwed into the tank. So we're going to put the hood back on, but we're not going to screw that chiller back down.